Well, alarming statistics. Really, we have more than 60% of primary school pupils that fail to reach the final grade, and 50 to 60% of Nigerians that are unemployed.
As we have been addressing the issue, we are going to look into poverty alleviation. How do we identify ourselves as being poor? The first thing is you look at yourself, what you're doing, where you live, how you live. Do you have a 3 square meal a day? Do you have any opportunity to go to school, that is having basic education? If you are ill, are you sure you are able to go to the hospital to be treated properly? Or you just go on self-medication because you cannot afford going to school? Do you have access to safe water? That is the government water, that is the pipe-borne water. Or you just roam around and you look for where there is a well and you are able to, before you can be able to get water. Are you living in an appropriate environment, that is conducive environment, where you can sleep without bothering your mind or bothering yourself about the safety and the security of your immediate environment? If you do not have this, at least if you do not live in this environment with all these facilities that I've just highlighted, then the syndrome is living with you. That is poverty. And all along we have been trying to encourage ourselves. We have been trying to educate ourselves. We have been trying to give each other enough confidence as regards to our personality and ourselves, our capability to make something good and positive in life. I've always been saying that whatever you are or whomever you are, the most important thing is you. And it is only you that knows yourself. Actually, you might need your family, your mother, your father, your sisters to identify certain traits that you have. Those are natural capabilities. And with these reports to you, it will endear your minds towards a very, very profitable arrangement that you can embark on and make a living out of it. And I've always been identifying 3 institutions as regards capacity building. The first is the individual itself, himself or herself. The individual, I always say, is the most important. Then we have the institution, then we have the states. We have the local government, we have the state government, and we have the federal government to take care of basic needs. Now, Lagos State has gone very far in initiating, as a result of the requirements of the federal government as regards the empowerment or the economic empowerment and development strategies that was laid out at the federal level. And the Lagos State government has also come up with packages as to how to see individuals grow and be able to live in a very conducive environment with all the basic requirements for living a conducive life. But let us look at it. Like I said, you are very important. You are basic to your own growth. You are basic to your own development. Now, we have a personal economic empowerment development strategies. If you have not come to look at yourself, you might not be able to bring out a constructive personal economic empowerment development strategy. That implies that you are going to format a process whereby you can easily do a business and profit in the business that you do. Now, identifying your strong areas is basic in this area. That implies that you need to have that basic education. You need to have gone through a process in life, maybe working in a formal environment and acquiring adequate value of experience. Now, we also have a family economic empowerment and development strategy, which is the responsibility of the heads of the family. That is the father, the mother, and with the participation of the children, especially by the time they are growing up. They are also supposed to contribute to how the family as a whole can grow, and there will be no cyclical tendencies towards poverty, or let's say the poverty that they have been experiencing along the line would have be removed totally at the end of the day. Then we have village or simple economic empowerment development strategy. This strategy is to ensure that the community heads or the village heads come together and they are able to format, or at least to bring some basic activities that will make the village or the immediate community to grow. And this will be put into a form of law or a form of regulatory instrument. If the village or the community knows what the community can give out, what they can easily, if it is farming, the community heads can come around and look at the type of products that they can grow massively. If possible, run like a society or like a cooperative society or others, and bring out value, or that is, I'm talking about monetary value, to enable them to involve the young people into full employment and to be able to put strength and power together to grow that community or the village. So this requires the participation of the village heads. Every strong member of that immediate community and even the youth should also be co-opted. Then we have local government economic power, economic empowerment and development strategies. These are involving the local government heads, that is the chairman and so on and so forth, all the operators that are within the local government. So this is a local government activities that will endear, the youth into coming to be more resourceful in the programs of things within the local government. Then we have SEETs, that is the state economic empowerment and development strategies. That involves the governor and all the commissioners and all the people that are involved in running the affairs of the state. They will come together and localize all the activities that will enable the state government into bringing out the best for the state. Actually, our misdirection of opinion as regards investments within the state always bring back, it always hit back on the individual, on the institution, and the generality of the people that are domiciled in that state, no matter what they are. Each local government should be microanalyzed by the state government, and each home should be analyzed by each local government. If it goes down and down like that, we'll reach out to the individuals that we need to grow for a better participation in capacity building. Then we have the national, that is the federal government, coming to format programs, coming to format policies, coming to introduce policies and implementing it as to what and how Nigerian state can be run more properly. So all these economic empowerment and development strategies are very basic. They are very, very basic in our lives. Now, when we look at all the scientific analysis of growth in capacity building, the first and the foremost thing is within the home and within the individual. We are looking at a situation whereby the parents treat with attitude the activities of their children. The children are not supervised, whether they go to school or they do not go to school. In fact, because of the poverty syndrome, many children are not cared for, they are not catered for. They are just left to move around and do things the way they want. So we must, at this point, because education is now free. Education is very, very free. At least basic requirements for running education in Nigeria is free to a certain level. And in effect, the parents have the responsibility to ensuring that these children go to school and they are duly supervised for the purpose of growth. Because it is these children, after a child is above 6 years old, he starts to understand what the systemic values are, and he starts getting attracted to the negative and the positive aspect of social life. So in effect, by the time this child are left alone without doing anything for long, whether during the holidays or even while they were in school, then they become a big problem. That monumental growth in them towards the tendencies which they tilt at becomes either value or a virtue at the end of the day. So parents come first in most of this in ensuring that there are no problems, there are no fundamental problems that are laid in the child, especially as a result of non-attendance to educational, not taking educational values very, very seriously. So I now want to address the basic issue that of discussion today, like dropouts from school and social miscreants. For instance, I've always been telling young men and young ladies that, look, you can do best and you can achieve best out of life if you take things very scientifically. these are my weaknesses, these are my strong areas. You identify them. You cannot undergo stress. Then why do you want to do a job that requires stress? You cannot stay without taking your siesta in the afternoon. Then why do you take a job that will make you go throughout the afternoon? So you must look at your area of strength. You must look at the areas that you are good at before you embark on the choice of job that you want to do. So poverty reduction is required. We need to do a poverty reduction initiative. We have to create it. And all these initiatives are packaged in the program as to how we are going to solve the problem of the social miscreants and the dropout. Because it is not most of the time, according to the interview that we saw on our screen, it is not most of the time their problem. It is a systemic created problems. And it is our responsibility to see how we are going to solve this problem so that it will not become an endemic problem.
Yes, sir. Thanks so much.
You're welcome,
now,
sir.
We looked at, during the week, we had a guest with us. He was actually, the guest is the chairman of the Special Task Force, on environmental and, special offenses, task force. And one thing which we're made to understand is that they were actually picking up a lot of people off the streets, what we would call area boys or, social miscreants. And some form of rehabilitation is going on, But now there's a basic issue here. A lot of people seem to think, a lot of the young ones seem to think that the society has gotten so bad, nothing can be done, to salvage the situation. So how would you react to that?
Yes, actually, it's a laudable move by the Lagos State government because we have a lot of people on the street who are not supposed to be there. But the problem is that do they have a sustainable plan for these children? Just picking them off the street is not enough. You must have brought in place, for instance, where you are going to rehabilitate them. Because if you pick them from the street, and you do not do something productive with them, you end up finding that they become hardened criminals. Because instead of going stylistically to perpetrate their frauds and to embarrass people here and there, they will now become they will now become outstandingly aggressive against the system. So the government has to be very, very sure that this issue of picking them from the street, they are ready to sustain it. Picking them from the street, taking them straight to the rehabilitation center, that will not look like a prison. Because if someone is a clean person, goes to the prison, comes out, he becomes a very experienced, partly experienced criminal.
Yes.
And as at that, by the time if you pick 5,000 out of the street, at least nothing less than 2,000 might come out, and they become something that the society does not pray for. So in essence, we have to tell the government that we have to advise them that picking them from the street is not enough, but ensuring that they have a rehabilitating structure on ground that will take care of the future of these children.
Okay. Well, we do hope that the government does have that plan, and we do hope that the government will be able to, sustain the plan and help these people, not just take them off the street, but actually help make them better people.
Yeah.